Imagine a weapon that could shatter fortress walls from afar, a machine hurling massive stones or giant arrows, striking terror into armies. This was no fantasy. For centuries, Greeks and Romans wielded mechanical monsters that could decide wars in a single, earth-shaking volley. These were feats of engineering, born from a deep understanding of physics and mathematics, true superweapons of their time. Before their invention, war was fought up close, with swords and shields. Victory depended on individual strength and courage, but siege engines changed everything. Now, a handful of engineers could unleash destruction from a distance, bypassing the front lines. The battlefield became a chessboard of physics, not just muscle. How did ancient minds conceive such power? It started with the principle of stored energy, like a drawn bowstring. The archer's muscles store energy in the bow, which is released as kinetic force. Ancient engineers scaled this up, seeking a bow so powerful no human could draw it, a machine storing the energy of many men. This quest led to the torsion spring, immense power generated by twisted rope made from animal sinew or horsehair. A lever twisted the rope bundle, storing incredible potential energy. This was the engine, the beating heart of the ancient superweapon. Simple in concept, devastating in application. The age of mechanical artillery had begun. The story begins in ancient Greece, not Rome. In 4th century BCE Syracuse, Dionysius I needed a way to break enemy walls. His engineers created the gastrophetes, or belly bow, a giant crossbow braced against the stomach, too strong to draw by hand. It proved mechanical advantage could amplify human strength, inspiring even bigger ideas. What if power came not from a bow, but from something that could store even more energy? Enter torsion engineers replaced the bow with two wooden arms, each socketed into twisted rope bundles. This was the first true torsion catapult, complex, requiring precise craftsmanship and strong uniform ropes. The wooden frames had to withstand immense strain. Triggers had to be robust yet precise. It was a fusion of organic and inorganic materials, all working together to unleash focused kinetic energy. The impact was immediate. Armies behind stone walls were suddenly vulnerable. A single catapult shot could shatter battlements or sweep defenders from their posts. The psychological effect was immense. The groan of ropes, the crack of release, the whistle of stone projectiles became the soundtrack of sieges. Defenders learned walls could no longer guarantee safety. The age of mechanical artillery had truly dawned. Ingenuity, not just strength, now ruled the battlefield. The rules of war had changed forever. Among the most feared machines was the ballista, a crossbow the size of a cart, powered by two massive torsion springs. When winched back, the twisted sinew rope stored phenomenal energy. The ballista was a weapon of precision, firing huge bolts or javelins tipped with iron, sometimes even fire. Operators could aim with surprising accuracy, targeting commanders, siege engines, or fortress walls. In skilled hands, the ballista was a deadly sniper, clearing defenders and sowing terror. Imagine defending a city. You see hulking machines, crews working in rhythm, then a thunderous splat. A spear-sized bolt shatters stone beside you. The fear it inspired was a weapon itself. The Romans perfected the ballista, standardizing its design and creating different sizes for different roles. Small scorpiones acted as mobile sniper rifles. Larger ballistas broke gates and walls. The ballista became a symbol of Roman technological and military dominance. It was a Greek idea, refined into a ruthlessly effective tool of conquest. Roman legions brought these machines wherever they went. The ballista's legacy, precision, power, and psychological warfare. It changed the face of ancient battlefields. The onager, named for its wild donkey-like kick, was the ballista's brutal cousin. With a single throwing arm seated in a massive torsion spring, it hurled huge stones in high arcs over walls. The arm was winched down, storing explosive tension, then released to launch devastation. Unlike the ballista's precision, the onager was an area effect weapon, an ancient mortar. Its purpose lobbed stones over fortifications, smashed buildings, and terrorized defenders. Building an onager required massive timbers and hundreds of feet of sinew rope, carefully prepared and tensioned. A crew of strong men operated the winch and loaded heavy ammunition. Slow to reload, but each shot was cataclysmic, capable of immense damage and psychological shock. The onager became the iconic siege engine of the later Roman Empire, shifting tactics from precision to overwhelming bombardment. It was designed to break not just walls, but the will to resist. These machines were born from the minds of ancient scientists and engineers. Archimedes of Syracuse, famed for his genius, laid the theoretical foundation, levers, pulleys, and the geometry of force. Later, Ctesibius and Philo of Byzantium wrote detailed manuals, linking projectile size to torsion spring diameter. Their formulas allowed engineers to build catapults of any desired power with remarkable consistency. They experimented with material, discovering the best sinew and wood for strength and elasticity. Humidity, rope tension, and frame design were all carefully considered. Their knowledge was a closely guarded secret, as valuable as any general. These workshops were ancient research labs where theory met practice. The story of ancient superweapons is ultimately a story of relentless human ingenuity. Constructing a siege engine was a monumental task, requiring skilled labor and the finest materials. Master carpenters selected strong, straight hardwoods for frames, ash or oak that could withstand repeated shocks. Logs were shaped with precision. Every joint had to be perfect to avoid catastrophic failure. Meanwhile, specialists prepared the heart torsion springs made from animal sinew, cleaned, split, soaked, and twisted into powerful ropes. The quality of these ropes was critical. A single weak spot could destroy the weapon. Assembly required expertise. Massive wooden parts joined with mortise and tenon joints reinforced with iron. Installing and tensioning the springs was the most delicate step, using levers to twist the bundles and store energy. Tuning was crucial. Too little tension and the weapon was weak. Too much and it could break. The finished machine was a complex interplay of forces, every part working in harmony. A completed ballista or onager was a testament to ancient knowledge of materials and engineering. Each was a masterpiece of controlled, devastating power. The Roman siege of Syracuse, 214-212 BCE, showcased the power of these machines and the genius of Archimedes. When the Roman navy attacked, they faced a terrifying array of war machines designed by Archimedes. Catapults and ballistas of all sizes lined the walls, creating a layered defense that devastated Roman ships. Smaller scorpions peppered the fleet. Larger engines smashed hulls and masts. Archimedes calculated trajectories for every range, bewildering the Romans. He even devised the legendary claw of Archimedes, a crane-like arm that could lift and capsize ships. Roman sailors faced not just men, but seemingly divine machines. The Romans abandoned direct assault, resorting to blockade and treachery. The siege became legendary, a single brilliant engineer holding on the mightiest military power. Archimedes proved the mind could be the most potent weapon of all. The Romans perfected siege artillery, making it a core part of every legion. Each legion had its own artillery corps, ballistarii, responsible for transporting, assembling, and firing war machines. A typical legion brought 10 onagers and 55 ballistas, giving every cohort artillery support. This mobile firepower gave Rome a huge tactical advantage. Ballistas provided covering fire, picking off defenders and suppressing resistance. Onagers bombarded walls relentlessly, opening breaches for assault. The combination of precision and power made no fortress safe. Roman engineering and discipline turned sieges into systematic reconstruction. The sound of Roman artillery meant impending doom, and the arrival of the world's most advanced army. The age of torsion engines ended as the Roman Empire declined and knowledge faded. Supply chains broke down, skilled engineers vanished, and simpler engines like the trebuchet took over. Yet the principle of storing and releasing energy never disappeared. It's a cornerstone of engineering. These superweapons' legacy is not just in warfare, but in the spirit of inquiry they represent. Even 2,000 years ago, humans were calculating, experimenting, and pushing boundaries. The same drive that led Philo to perfect torsion springs led later scientists to gunpowder, steam, and nuclear power. The ballista and onager were early expressions of humanity's quest to harness nature's forces. They remind us that technology has always shaped history. Behind every ancient weapon was a mind seeking to understand and control the world. These machines stand as monuments to our unending curiosity and ingenuity.